Benazir, very tenacious fighter, a very courageous leader, and with a lot of grit and determination.
She wanted to be a journalist herself. She wanted to write. She was an avid reader.
She herself was a giant, and she could see through people and see through events.
The Queen of Roses is gone.
The journey is now over. It was bumpy and challenging, but Benazir was a resolute traveler. She braved every hardship but never surrendered. She lost her father and 2 brothers. She suffered worst type of imprisonment for years. Twice she suffered in exile, and twice she faced premature dissolution of her garments. People who remain associated with her in one way or another have countless memories to narrate.
We were meeting always either in the official meeting or official dinner, and thereafter she would recall Asma Jahangir, Shima Kirmani, myself, Shahnaz Wazir Ali, all these people to her room and sit down, पैर ऊपर करके आराम से बैठ के आलती पालती मार के और फिर कहना कि let's have some gossip. Lighter moments like this, quite a few times we had, but these were the lighter moments. She was a very serious person otherwise.
It was Benazir's political stature that the senior People's Party leaders accepted her as their boss. It was the training of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto that contributed a lot in her successes later in the life.
She had evolved through the political process. She had not been installed from the top, that right from day one you are the leader. She had experience of over 20-25 years. She had learned from her father, who was a great leader, by his own, very great leader.
Her companions termed her a great advocate of the women emancipation. Besides, she inherited a good taste of art and culture from her mother and father.
I never wanted to come to Islamabad, but when she came for the second time as Prime Minister, she insisted on this, that women should be in the prominent positions. Hamida Riaz was appointed Director General National Book Foundation. I was appointed Director General National Council of Arts. And the beginning of the relationship got stronger and stronger in the way that she asked for Independence Day to have folk dances at the Constitution Avenue.
Those who killed Benazir Bhutto might not have realized the impact of their barbarism. They deprived the nation its one of the finest politicians of all time. The tragic death of Benazir Bhutto has left the nation in a state of gloom. But even her opponents acknowledge her political acumen. Benazir's legacy as a political leader of great merit is not in doubt, but it is the personal side that even his adversaries find appealing. The former ruling party had serious reservations against Benazir Bhutto. They tried to block her return but failed. Even they think her sudden death as an irreparable loss.
I remember it was the summer of 1984. I was flying to London from Iran after attending a conference there, and I went to see her in a flat in Barbican. And she was on one flat, and down below was Dr. Zafar Niazi, who had been the family dentist, and he was living there also, one flat down below. And she said, okay, if you're coming, I'll also do some cooking for you. So she cooked a meal, and Mr. Safdar Hamdani, who was a student leader, who was known as then as Chacha Hamdani, he was also there. So we discussed Iran, we discussed issues, and she discussed how's Khomeini like, because I'd met him also in Iran. So it was a very interesting discussion, and she had a lot of fascination for Iran and the revolution which had just taken place. So we maintained contact and communication. I also introduced her to Dr. Malia Lodi. Dr. Malia Lodi was then our correspondent in London.
Some people considered Benazir was a born aristocrat and did not tolerate harsh criticism. But the senior journalists who had interacted with her a number of times found this allegation baseless.
She, to my mind, was the only Prime Minister. She would take the worst criticism, and consistently one was being critical to her, But instead of bullying you or buying you, she would always go an extra mile to convince you of her story. She would not, try to browbeat you, silence you, buy you over.
Benazir Bhutto advocated democracy, liberalism and the rule of law. She was bold enough to take on the extremists and terrorists. And that is why she was considered a hope to get the country rid of these menaces. Shehzad Raza, Dawn News, Islamabad.